Dear student, so last time we discussed about the function, and after that we discussed the built-in function. After that we discussed the parts of the user-defined function, and now we are studying the parts of the user-defined function. So as we have studied before that, we know that a function definition, whenever a user is going to define his function, it has three parts. One is the function declaration, second one is the function definition, and the third one is the function calling. Okay, so first of all is the function declaration, right? So the function declaration, it is actually providing us the model, right? It's providing us a model of the function. It is also called the prototype. Like for example, in function declaration, we need the following information about the function. We should have to give a name to the function, right? And similarly, we should have to define its return type, right? Type of data this function is going to return to us, right? When it's perform its task. So what type of data is going to return us, right? And then in that we have the number and type of argument, how many number of argument and what will be the type of that argument, or we can simply call the parameter, right? That will be used in the function. So the function and declaration, and basically in that we have to provide these three information. If we want to design a function, or we want to write a function for some specific task, like for addition, so definitely if this addition of number is going to be performed on the two number, so we should have to write the function name, like for example addition, or we should have to write that one plus or something like that, relevant name, right? And then when the operation is performed, like addition of two numbers is performed, so what type of data is going to return? So definitely the addition of two integer number will be an integer, so we will have to write its return type integer. Or if we don't want to return any value, so we should have to write the void, void, right, instead of the its return type. And similarly, if it's going to perform on two variable, we are just going to pass that variable, so we should have to write its two parameter type, right? Two integer x or integer y or integer num1, integer num2, so we should have to write its two type of parameter, right? And semicolon is used at the end of the function declaration to indicate the end of the function declaration. Whenever we are going to declare a function, so we should have to put a semicolon at the end of that, so that it shows us the end of the function declaration. The function declaration, if you just look to if you just look to its syntax, right? So its syntax is just like similar to the variable, like you write the types, then the variable name, just like we were before writing integer num1, and after that we put the semicolon, right? So it's like similar to that one. So if you just look to the syntax of the function declaration, so it shows us that in example 1, if you just look right here in the syntax, the type of the function, we should have to write its type, then we should have to give us a name, and if we need an argument, so a parameter, so we will give the parameter here and then put the semicolon at the end. So that will be like the function declaration. Like example 1, if you just look, we doesn't need any return type, so we have write the void, and its name is display, right? Because the function is just only used for displaying something. And then we don't need any parameter in that one, so we have to write void in that one. But if we need a return type, right, for example the operation that the function is going to perform, and it's in return giving some type of value, integer, okay, string, character, float, whatever it is, and that should be returned to us, so we should have to write that return type, and that return type should be written here. There should be integer, float, or anything, right? And then its name, and similarly we want to pass the two parameters, so we should have to write, like for example integer num1 and integer num2, right? And that's its type of the parameter, and that's its name, right? So we can write like that in the example 2. the parameter of the function may be, there can be integer type, float, double character, string, or whatever data type. Okay, you are just going to use, so you can pass that parameter to that one. Similarly, for the return value of the function, you can use integer, float, double, or structure type, anything, right? So you can use that one. Okay, so after that we are just going to discuss the second one, that's the function definition, right? So in the function definition, basically we are just going to define that function, that for example which type of operation it is going to perform. If we are writing the code in that for addition, so definitely they will be performing operation addition for us. If we are writing the code for the subtraction, it will perform the subtraction. If we write that function for taking some data from us, so that function will be performing that. If we want to write display something, right, so we will write the code for that one. So the function definition is basically is showing us that which type of operation is going to perform. So the actual code of the function is called function definition. It is a set of instructions that are written to perform some specific task. As I told you, that means what type of operation you want to perform, so you should have to write the code for that there. The function definition is always outside the main function, right? And outside the main function you should have to define that function, that which operation is going to be performed, right? It can be written before or after the main. You can write it before, it's your own style, wherever you want to write it, right? It can be read in separate files, and if in separate file you write that one, then you should have to include that one in the hash include directory, just like you include the hash include connew and these things, right? Okay, if we just go in detail, the function definition basically consists of two parts then. One is the declarator and another one is the body of the function, right? So first we are going to study the declarator, right? So the declarator, it is like the heading line of the function, right? The first main line of the function, right? The heading line of the function define the same as the function declaration. That's we have declared the function declaration, but in the declaration we should have to put the semicolon at the end of that one. But in the declarator we are not going to use the semicolon, but it will be followed by a parenthesis, right? In which we have to write the body of the function, in which we have to write the operation, in which we should have to write this type of code which is going to perform that operation for us, right? So in that basically type, return type, then its function name, and then after that we have parameter list here, right? And similarly in these two brackets, right, in these two curly brackets, we should have to write the set of statement, which will be, for example, if you want to write that one for the addition, so here we will write that integer sum is equal to num1 plus num2. That will be giving us the addition. If we write num1 minus 2, it will be performing the operation of subtraction for us, right? So it's basically body of the function, and declarator is like this heading line of the statement, right? And the body of the function, that's I told you that, I mean in these curly brackets, whatever you write, that's called the body of the function, and that will be performing that operation for you, for which you have written that function, right? In the third place we are going to discuss about the function calling. If we have declared a function, after that we have defined a function, so now if we need that function to perform that task, so how we will be performing that operation? So that's because of the calling. We should have to call that function, right? For example, if we want somebody to do this task for us, so definitely we should have to call him by his name. For example, I will just say CR, please do this for me, right? So CR is his name, right? For example, Ali is his name, right? For example, Waqar is his name, and so I will call him Waqar, please perform this operation. So definitely if I say Waqar, so Waqar will perform this operation for us if we have defined the task for him. So similarly is the function calling, right? In the function calling, right, when we giving a call to the function, so we will refer it by its name. So executing the statement of the function to perform a task is called calling of the function, and we usually refer it by its name, as we have already given it some name, maybe some type of addition, some add, some etc. We sub or a divide it, we have given it some name, so we will be calling its name and it will performing that operation for us. After executing the statement in the body of the function, the control return to the calling function, right? So it's return that one. If we have returned a value, so it will return a value there, or if not, so it will return the control there, right? And then after that, the next statement is run immediately after that statement executed. If you just look to the example, so the example will make it clear. Right, for example, write a program to print a message on the screen using a user-defined function. So what we will do, just like usually we write hash include a stream, hash include coordinate h, right? And after that we write a function. We are going to declare a function. So a function declaration, I told you we should have to write its return type, then after that its name, and if we got some parameters, so we will write this parameter here in the small brackets, and if we don't need the parameters, so we are not going to write anything here, right? In this case, I'm not returning any value, and I'm not passing any parameters to that one. So I have declared a function here, and you can see that's followed by here by a semicolon, right? So that's function declaration. After that, we are somebody will be defining this function outside the main bar, right, above the main or below the main. So if you just look here, so after that the main is executed, main execute the clear screen, and this one is called the function calling. That's, I told you that when we refer the function by its name, so when we calling the display, so this display will come here, right, and here the declarator, that's called the declarator, right? It's the same like this function declaration, but it's not followed by the semicolon, it's followed by two curly brackets, right? So that's called the function declarator. Here this whole statement is called the function, like from white display this one to it's my function program, and to this curly brackets, right? It's like a function definition. So in the function definition, as we have already discussed, we got two parts. One is the declarator and another one is the body of the function. The body of the function is written here in between these two curly brackets, right? And the declarator is here, right? The declarator is same as the declarator is that one is same as the function name. Okay, so declarator is same as the function declaration. The declarator is same as the function declaration, but it's not followed by semicolon. So if we call a function, so that function transfer is control here, and it's my function program that will be displayed on the screen, and after that it will display the again when the body finish. So control will come here and CO OK will be displayed, and then this method getStage will hold a screen for us for some time, right, until we press the button. So I hope you will understand this by this example. Just try to write that code in Turbo C editor or Dev C++, right? But I have just tried that one in Turbo C++. So I hope it will make clear the concept of function definition, calling, and function declaration, right? Okay, students, thank you very much. Like and subscribe the channel, right, so you get all the latest lecture notification on your mobile, and so then you are not going to miss any lecture. So that will help and make it easy for you to stay in contact. Thank you very much.